The desert is quiet before sunrise, but it never truly sleeps. Long before the first light touches the sand, something ancient already feels awake. Beneath the pale stars, three massive shapes rise from the ground like frozen shadows. They do not move. They do not speak, yet they feel alive. Tonight, the journey begins at Giza, where time slows down and the past waits patiently to be remembered. Around the year 2560 BCE, the land beside the Nile looked very different. The river flooded its banks, fields turned dark and rich, and life followed the rhythm of water and sun. Somewhere near the edge of this fertile world, thousands of people worked under the open sky. They were not kings or priests. They were laborers, farmers, builders, men who rose with the sun and slept under stars. They were told their task would last years, maybe decades. Stone after stone, they would build something meant to last forever. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built for a ruler named Khufu. He was a king who believed deeply in legacy. Death was not an ending to him, it was a doorway. The pyramid was not just a tomb, it was a promise carved into stone. When finished, it stood nearly 500 feet tall. For almost 4,000 years, nothing built by humans reached higher. Even today, standing before it feels overwhelming, as if the stone itself is watching. The pyramid is made of more than 2 million blocks of limestone. Some are small enough to be carried by teams, others weigh tens of tons. There were no cranes, no machines, no steel tools, just rope, wood, stone, and human strength. How those blocks were moved and placed so precisely remains one of history's greatest questions. Scholars have drawn plans, built models, and argued for generations. Yet no single answer fully explains it. One idea suggests long ramps made of mud, brick, and earth. Another imagines ramps spiraling around the pyramid as it grew. Some believe there may have been hidden ramps built inside the structure itself. Each theory solves one problem but creates another. The truth may be something we have not yet imagined, or something lost to time when the builders themselves were lost. What we do know is this: the people who built the pyramid were not slaves chained in misery. Evidence shows they were fed well, housed nearby, and respected for their work. Many were likely farmers who worked during the flood season when fields were underwater. It was hard labor, but it was shared labor, a national effort shaped by belief and duty. The precision of the Great Pyramid still stuns modern engineers. Its sides face almost perfectly north, south, east, and west. The base is nearly level off by only a few inches across its vast size. Even today, with modern tools, such accuracy would be difficult. The builders understood geometry, balance, and alignment at a level that feels almost impossible for such an ancient time. Inside, the pyramid is quiet and plain. There are no painted walls or long passages filled with writing. There are only a few chambers. The king's chamber holds a stone sarcophagus, empty. No treasure, no mummy. Khufu himself was never found there. This absence has fueled endless questions. Was his body stolen long ago, or was it never placed there at all? Some believe the pyramid was more than a tomb. Its narrow shafts point towards specific stars. One aligns with Orion, linked to the god of the afterlife. Another points toward a star that once marked the north. These alignments suggest the pyramid was built as a bridge between earth and sky, a path for the king's soul to join the stars. The math within the structure deepens the mystery. The relationship between the pyramid's height and its base closely portrays numbers found in circles and natural patterns. Some see meaning in this, others see coincidence. Even the pyramid's position on the globe has raised eyebrows. Its latitude nearly mirrors the speed of light written in numbers. Most agree it is chance, but it is the kind of chance that makes the mind pause. Around the Great Pyramid stand others. Khafre's pyramid rises nearby, still wearing some of its smooth outer stones. Menkawer's pyramid stands smaller but proud, and watching over them all is the Great Sphinx, carved from living rock. Its face is worn, its body scarred by time. Who it represents is still debated. Its erosion patterns hint at a past with more water, more rain, and perhaps a much older story. Modern technology has not ended the mystery. In recent years, Scientists have used cosmic particles to scan the pyramid from the inside. They found a large empty space above the Grand Gallery, a hidden void. No one knows what it is or why it exists. It could be structural, it could be symbolic, or it could be something no one has guessed yet. The Giza Plateau is more than monuments. It is a message from a distant past, a declaration made in stone. It tells us that ancient people were not simple or lost. They were thinkers, dreamers, builders who reached for eternity with bare hands and belief. As night settles over the desert, the pyramids remain. Wind moves softly across the sand. Stars return to their places. The stone giants do not change, but they seem to listen. Perhaps they always have. And as sleep begins to pull the mind inward, their silent questions drift with us into the dark, waiting for the next part of the journey. When the sun sets over Giza, the stones cool and the shadows stretch long across the sand. This is the hour when the pyramids feel closest, when the noise of the modern world fades and the past steps forward. The Great Pyramid does not reveal its secrets easily. It waits, patient as ever, while questions gather like stars overhead. Deep inside the pyramid, narrow passages lead upward and downward, carved with care and intent. The Grand Gallery rises with smooth stone walls, tall and narrow, like a quiet hallway meant for giants. Walking through it feels different. Sound fades. Time feels slower. The builders designed it that way, as if they wanted visitors to feel small and thoughtful, aware of every step. The king's chamber sits near the heart of the structure. Its walls are made of red granite hauled from far away. Above it, hidden, chambers were built to relieve pressure, stone stacked upon stone to protect the room below. These were not accidents. They were solutions, planned and tested in the minds of builders who understood weight and force without modern math. And yet, the chamber is empty. No gold, no body, just the stone box, silent and plain. This absence has haunted explorers for centuries. Some say grave robbers took everything long ago. Others believe the pyramid was never meant to hold a body at all, that it was symbolic, a monument to power and belief rather than a final resting place. Outside the pyramid was once covered in smooth white limestone that reflected sunlight like a mirror. From miles away, it would have shined, a bright mountain rising from the desert. Over time, those casing stones were taken, reused in buildings as cities grew. What remains today is the core, strong and bare, like a skeleton that refuses to fall. Nearby, pits were found holding ancient boats, carefully buried in pieces. These were not meant for water in this world. They were for the next one. The idea was simple and grand. A king would sail the sky as he once sailed the Nile. Even in death, movement mattered. As centuries passed, people came from distant lands to see the pyramids. Some came with wonder, others came with tools. In the 19th century, explorers carved their names into the stone, leaving marks that still scarred the surface. In the early 20th century, climbers scaled the sides just to say they had done it. Humanity has always felt the need to touch what it does not fully understand. Still, the pyramids endured. Sandstorms came and went. Empires rose and fell. The desert shifted, yet the stones remained, locked together with precision that time could not easily undo. Then, in the modern age, a new kind of exploration began. Scientists brought machines that could see without digging. They used particles from space, tiny messengers that passed through stone. But they mapped the inside of the pyramid. That was when the hidden void was found. A large empty space above the Grand Gallery. No door leads to it. No passage reveals its purpose. It simply exists, unseen for thousands of years. Some believe it is a construction feature, a way to reduce weight. Others think it may be a hidden chamber, sealed on purpose. For now, it remains untouched, a quiet reminder that even now, the pyramid keeps its distance. The Great Pyramid is not alone in mystery. Across the plateau, the Sphinx rests, its body stretched long and low, its face worn smooth. Wind and sand have softened its features, but its gaze remains steady. Water erosion marks its sides, hinting at a time when rain was more common. when the land may have looked very different. This has led some to wonder if the Sphinx is far older than we think. There are tunnels beneath the plateau, shafts and chambers that hint at a deeper complexity. Some are known, others are suspected. Stories speak of hidden libraries and underground halls, places where knowledge was stored. Most of these tales remain unproven, but they refuse to disappear in recent years. The claims have surfaced of vast structures beneath the pyramids. Researchers using advanced scans have suggested deep shafts, spiral paths, and large chambers far below the surface. The scientific world remains cautious. Evidence must be tested, confirmed, questioned again. Still, the idea lingers. What if the pyramids are only the visible part of something much larger? This is how the pyramids work on the mind. They invite questions, then offer silence. They stand at the edge of what we know and what we imagine. They remind us that ancient people were capable of planning on a scale we still struggle to grasp. As night deepens, the desert grows cooler. The stars wheel slowly above, just as they did thousands of years ago. Somewhere beyond the pyramids, the Nile flows, steady and dark. The same river that fed the builders still moves through the land, connecting past and present. But the story does not end in Egypt. The world is full of places like this, where stone and mystery meet. Circles of rock on distant plains, lines carved into deserts only visible from the sky, statues standing alone on remote islands, machines lost beneath the sea. Each one asks the same quiet question. How much have we forgotten? The pyramids were not the first great mystery, and they were not the last. They are part of a long human habit of building beyond need, of creating meaning in stone. As sleep draws closer, the mind begins to wander from the desert, carried by curiosity into other lands and other ages. The stars fade one by one as clouds pass overhead. The pyramids remain unchanged, watching, and somewhere far away, another ancient place waits to be remembered, another story, ready to unfold when the night grows quiet enough to listen. The night grows deeper now, and with it comes a softer way of listening. The kind of listening that happens when the world is quiet and the mind drifts. The great pyramids still stand under the stars, but they no longer feel distant. They feel familiar, like old guardians that have watched countless generations pass by without ever needing to speak. Over time, the pyramids stopped being just royal monuments. They became symbols. To the ancient Egyptians, they were stairways to the heavens. To later civilizations, they were wonders beyond explanation. To us, they are questions shaped in stone. Each age looks at them differently, seeing reflections of its own hopes and limits. What makes the pyramids so powerful is not only their size, but their endurance. Wars have burned cities to the ground. Floods have erased coastlines, empires have collapsed into dust. Yet these stones remain fitted together so tightly that even time struggles to pull them apart. They remind us that humans have always reached for something lasting, something that would outlive their fragile bodies. Khufu, the king who ordered the Great Pyramid, is mostly forgotten as a man. We do not know his voice, we do not know his face with certainty. His body is gone, but his idea remains. That idea was simple and bold: build something that death cannot erase. In that way, he succeeded. The mysteries still circled the pyramids like wind over sand. How were the stones lifted so high? Why were the chambers arranged as they were? What purpose did the hidden voids serve? Were there deeper chambers still buried? Below, each discovery answers one question and opens another. The pyramid never gives everything away. Even now, scientists return with new tools. They scan, measure, analyze. They debate with care and caution. And yet, despite all the data, there is still room for wonder. That space between knowledge and mystery is where the pyramids live most comfortably. Beyond Egypt, the world holds many such places. Stone circles built by hands we cannot name. Lines drawn across deserts meant to be seen from the sky. Silent statues staring inland from lonely islands. Books written in languages no one can read. Machines built before their time and lost beneath the sea. The pyramids are part of a much larger human story, one filled with curiosity, belief, and unanswered questions. these places tell us something important. Our ancestors were not driven only by survival. They were driven by meaning. They looked at the sky and the land and asked why. They built not just to live, but to remember, to honor, to connect with something greater than themselves. As the hours pass, the desert cools even more, the stars shift slowly, almost gently. The pyramids do not change, but they seem to settle into the darkness, content to wait. They have waited thousands of years already. They can wait longer. For the listener drifting toward sleep, the pyramids offer a quiet comfort. They remind us that time moves on, but not everything is lost. That even in a world that feels fast and fragile, there are things made with patience and care that endure. Perhaps that is the final secret of the pyramids. Not how they were built, but why. They were built to say, we were here, we believed in tomorrow, we trusted stone and sky to carry our memory forward. The desert breathes softly, the night holds steady. Somewhere in the dark, the ancient stones rest beneath the stars, still keeping their secrets, still watching, still dreaming in silence as sleep gently takes hold.